Well, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to thank you all for staying overtime, for not falling asleep. So, I want to thank you all. We are the third team. The discussion is gun control. My name is Luis, and my teammate is Ali. We're going to talk about gun control and what should it enter into force. Okay, first of all, let me ask you something. Would you rather live in a place where everyone could carry a concealed weapon or gun and be free in the streets? Or do you prefer that people that carry those guns should be tested and should be experienced persons? Also, would you prefer to live in a country with the main thought to respond violence is with more violence? Or to get the first option, the dialogue? What would you prefer? Well, since 1791, the Second Amendment has been into force, allowing people to carry guns, to purchasing them, and also to use them for protection. Since that time, there were a lot of problems. First of all, there were no communications. There were no way to call the police officers, to call the sheriffs, or do something else. So the other way, you could not be protected. So that's why people were allowed to carry guns and to purchase them. Nowadays, we have a lot of things, cell phones, internet, a lot of ways of communications where we can call for assistance or call the police or sheriffs. Modern days bring modern things, modern thoughts, modern way of acting, also bring modern guns and modern violence. What we want is to stop this violence. We want to stop people from answering violence with more violence. We want to educate them. We want to educate people to stop using hard or damage people for solving problems. We want guns out of the streets. We want a strict control on who are the responsible to carry guns. We also want a strict way of testing people for buying or getting these guns from pawn shops or from gun stores. Well, nowadays, crime rate related with guns is really high. The main way people use guns is for robberies. Let me read you some numbers. For example, the whole robberies that are made on the streets is 43.2%. 17.3% are made in residences. 30% are made on commercial houses, and 60% are on miscellaneous. And the last 9.7% are made in bank robberies or other kind of assaults. Also, according to Everytime Research, this page that makes researches about violence, 53% of women killed in home violence are killed with guns that are authorized guns that their husband or their intimate partner or a family member has permission to own. Also, 80 persons are killed with firearms each day. Every day is 85 persons killed. And each year, 606 persons are killed because of accidental shootings. The main responsibles of these shootings are youngsters or persons who are not stable psychologically speaking. And 8% of these persons that are killed are because of children under the age of 6 years, because they are playing with guns that people are allowed to carry or to have at home. Despite these numbers, people are still fighting for carrying guns, concealed weapons. And we don't want that. We want to stop this. We want education after all. I want to emphasize that we know that it's going to be impossible to take all these weapons out of the streets. It's even more impossible to take the weapons out of the houses of the people that already own them. What we want to know is, what we want to ask for to the government is just to make the more restricted policy. to make a psychological test and also background studies. And we want this just for stopping violence and stopping crime. Thank you.
So, hi everyone, I'm Lin, and today Jeremy and I will be arguing that just like it is stated in the United States Constitution, everyone should have the right to own guns, and no restrictions should be put on these basic constitutional rights. So first, as a background, the United States has 88 guns per people, and which is the highest total number over the world. Americans' gun culture is a part of its colonial history, revolutionary route, frontier expansion, and the second Amendment, which states a well-regulated military is necessary to security of a few states. The right of the people to keep and bear arms should not be infringed. So, as Louis stated, that gun ownership should be restricted because guns are the main reason for the number of murders. However, we strongly disagree with this statement. Gun control laws do not deter crime. Gun ownership deters crime. A study in 2013 in United States found that between 1980 and 2009, assault weapons bans did not significantly affect murder rates at the state level, and states with restrictions on the carrying of concealed weapons had higher gun-related murders. While gun ownership doubled in the United States, the murder rate was decreased. A Pew survey in 2014 found that 55% of people believe that owning a gun protects them from being victimized. As a saying goes, if guns are outlawed, only outlawed have guns. Gun control laws infringe upon the right to self-defense and deny people a sense of safety. According to National Rifle Association, guns are used for self-defense 2.5 million times a year. The police cannot protect everyone all of the time. 61% of men and 56% of women surveyed by Pew Research said that the stricter gun laws could make it more difficult for people to protect their homes and families. So don't you think that when it takes police on average 5 minutes to get your house after you call 911, and you should have the right to protect yourself with your gun? Second, gun control laws, especially those that try to ban assault weapons, infringe upon the right to own guns for hunting and sport. In 2011, there were 13 million hunters in the United States, and they spent $7.7 million on guns, sights, ammunition, and other hunting equipment. High-powered semi-automatic rifles and shotguns are used to hunt and in target shooting tournaments every year. According to the National Shooting Sports Foundation, so-called assault weapons are more often than not less powerful than other hunting rifles. The term assault weapon was conjured up by anti-gun legislators to scare voters into thinking these firearms are something out of a horror movie. So in conclusion, gun control law won't decrease the rate of murder, and they can't protect themselves without a gun. Also, guns can be a sport for many people, so we agree that every people should have the right to own a gun. That's all.
Okay. Q&A.
How do you prevent gun violence if you don't want to restrict the way that people purchase guns?
So first I want to ask in reply, if guns are restricted by people, how would you prevent violence which is caused by knife or other weapons like explosive, which is more powerful than guns and it can make more damage to people? Why don't you limit explosive instead of guns? And violence will not be stopped by limiting guns, but by improving people themselves. People who want to cause a violence will use everything to arm themselves, such as knowledge. When they find that knowledge cannot defend them, they will use more direct ways, such as using a weapon. And these weapons are not only limited to guns. So to reduce or extinct violence, the best way is to improve the system of education so they won't make any violence.
I'm thinking that when we say gun control, we mean the white guns, the white weapons. So it's included. The thing is, it's called like violence. So this is what we don't wanna happen.
So, I said that there is not only gun violence in the world. There are also any other violence, but it is like impossible to stop them. But if you control guns, there are also any other violence that happened. So to restrict violence, it is impossible if you just control guns.
Well, we want to restrict gun control because most of the violence nowadays are made with guns. First of all, the thing you asked about making a restriction on explosives, I think the first thought comes to my mind is where to get explosives. I don't think you can get explosives even in America. You cannot buy a C4 in the street or in a weapon store. So the guns are easy to get than not an explosive. And sometimes if you use an explosive, that doesn't become violence, that becomes terrorism. And I don't think we can attack terrorism with gun control. What we want to stop is violence on the streets, violence against people that are not fault nothing. An example, and this example is the Columbine shooting. These guys got the guns. They were not psychologically stable. So I think this is going to be a really tough matter. And as I tell you, violence, after all, out of the streets is going to be easier if we restrict people not to purchasing them or to retrieving the weapons from their houses, just by testing them before getting the guns. And if you have a gun concealed outside on the street, you're going to be arrested because you won't be allowed to carry concealed weapons on the streets. And that will prevent a lot of crimes also.
Question. Ask a question.
So the research between 1980 and 2009 shows that gun control laws did not restrict gun-related murders, but even increase the gun-related murders. How can you explain this phenomenon?
So I think we cannot stop suicide, but we can stop suicidal people to own guns.
Well, The study you
Well,
showed
it's
us
in general.
is about assault weapons. You cannot well, it's a really low rate to see someone robbing a store with an assault weapon. So that's why your studies show that gun-related are higher than assault weapons. Because guns are easier to conceal than an assault weapon. You cannot hide a rifle or hide a shotgun to assault a store, but you can hide a gun. So assault weapons are really, nowadays, are really difficult to get from stores. Assault guns, and even are more difficult to get it out of the streets. But what we want to restrict, absolutely, are guns. Handguns. They're the way people are committing crimes.
You have a question?
Yeah, I have another question. Now, how would people live in a safe environment if everyone could carry a gun?
If everyone can have a gun, they can use their guns for self-defense all the time. And I think all the criminals also afraid of guns. So sometimes they will not do something illegal. And so I think it can build a safety environment if everyone have a gun. And a question. Do you think people can suicide by other tools? Are you sure that gun control can restrict the rate of suicide?
Yeah, like they just mentioned, we cannot stop suicide, but we can stop them to own guns.
Sometimes these people commit suicide, but before committing suicide kills other people. That's why we want to prevent guns from them to own them.
Just
They can use other tools to kill the people and then suicide.
We know we cannot prevent suicides, but we can prevent them from getting more tools for committing suicide.
Okay. All right. Okay. Summary.
Hello everyone. I'm summarizing what has already been said. Lois and I think and believe that gun control should be imposed by the government of the United States in order to limit and prevent such terrible crimes that are the results of not having control in guns. Consequently, the high crime rate is due to the lack of managing gun control. The crime rate is rising sharply, including mass shootings, robberies, fatalities, unintentional shootings. However, the message that Louis and I want to share with you that we're all looking forward to having like safe countries that is that all people can live securely in without fear of gun treatment, and that only and society rid of all types of violent behaviors. That only can happen if we apply and impose restrictions on guns, all kinds of firearms. Furthermore, we want to emphasize that we are not suggesting to take your guns away. You don't have to turn guns in. We are just saying that we need very strict policies and rules to own a gun. We would like everybody to pass serious psychological tests and background checks. We wish to give guns only to responsible people, because guns are for your protection and for your enjoyment. therefore, a person should only have